Hi everyone, Lewis here. Today I want to do another little film review for you, and the film I'm going to review is Clerks III. That's the third Clerks movie over the past 20 odd years, 27 years I think. The first one was 95, so yeah, no spoilers in this as well. And it's an interesting one because I had to go quite on my way to see this. It was playing at a cinema about an hour away from me, probably just less than that. And I was thinking maybe it'll come to my more local one a little while later, but then it didn't seem to be playing for very long, so I thought, okay, it's probably not doing big numbers, so it's probably not going to hang around too long. So I thought, you know what, I've got a day off, I'll make the journey over, I'll go see it. And I'm glad I did, because I was the only person there as well, which is nice for me. But yeah, backstory, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan of him as a person as well. Like, I listen to his podcasts and things like that all the time. I think especially in more recent years, he's become a very wholesome, positive character kind of thing. Like, he gets a lot of nonsense online, but it's one of those things where it's just kind of, he says things and people twist them, make headlines out of them, and it's all that kind of rubbish. So I don't really worry about that. I listen to him, he enjoys things, it's nice hearing him talk about things he enjoys, and like I say, I think he's a really positive guy. In terms of his film output, I wasn't really that aware of his work in some of my younger days when they were kind of coming out and that. I think I saw like Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back back in the day, and didn't really get it because I wasn't really in that kind of world. And I saw Chasing Amy, and I really liked that when I was younger. That's probably still my favourite of his films. And I think a few years back, I went back and I watched Clerks, and I watched Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and I watched Chasing Amy again. And since then, I've kind of filled in the gaps, and I like what he does. I like that he does his own thing for the most part. And like I say, I'm more a fan of him and who he is than of his films, but I do like his films as well. And I think his most recent one, Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, I liked it because I'm a fan, but I wasn't that overly fond of it. I think the kind of some of the humour in that doesn't quite work for me, but that's fine. I think I have enough of a positive kind of endearment towards him and his work that he can get away with a lot with me. And that's kind of the feeling I had going into Clerks 3 as well. I rewatched Clerks 1 and 2 recently, and I really like them. I like them more as time goes by, especially Clerks, the first one. And yeah, I kind of rewatched them just because I wanted to rewatch them rather than because I was kind of getting ready for the film kind of thing. And I kind of went into this thinking, okay, this is going to be, a film for his fans and for fans of this. Like, he takes the film on tour around America and stuff like that. And I kind of went, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be, reasonably enjoyable, some funny bits, but I like just seeing him working with his friends, which is what he likes to do now since he had his heart attack and was basically almost died. And he's just kind of gone, I want to go back and I want to make movies with my friends and tell the stories of the characters that I created and that I love and that kind of thing. And in many ways, that's exactly what this is. It's him with his old friends. He's written this film, and I think they're just kind of having fun with it, really. And I think, for me personally, for the most part, I was like, this is okay. Like, I'm enjoying this, but I'm not, I wasn't exactly laughing out loud. And I say it was just me in there. I could have laughed as loud as I wanted. I could have Cape Feared all over that, or Sideshow Bob, depending on what reference you want to go for. But I did like it. But then, what I didn't expect, and Kevin Smith's a pretty emotional guy. He's known for crying and stuff, and he writes some pretty good, like, emotional stories. And there's a lot of moments in his films where I kind of feel it emotionally. And this one is more so than I thought. I don't want to oversell it because I don't want it to be one of those things where I kind of go, when people say something reaches them to a certain point, it's kind of like when you go and actually see it yourself, you kind of go, oh, that was a bit, underwhelming. So I don't want to hammer on the point too much. But I'll just say it got a reaction at me I didn't quite expect, and it was not a reaction I normally have, especially when it's something involving people, and if it's animals or something, that's that's open season, no pun intended. But yeah, it definitely connected with me emotionally. I'll say more than I thought it would. I thought it would be a little bit, and I thought that was because of the nostalgia factor, and because I like the people and the characters and stuff like that. But it definitely resonated with me more than I thought. And yeah, overall I liked it. I think it's going to be one of those things where I think if you kind of look at 3 tiers of like a potential audience for this, if there's people who have no knowledge of these films at all, this film will probably just be absolute gibberish and just not for you at all, kind of thing. Like, I mean, that's and to be fair, it's probably true. If you go into it not knowing any of the backstory or anything like that, you're probably going to kind of go, okay. And I think if you've got people who are kind of like lapsed fans who maybe saw Clerks like 20 years ago or whatever, and maybe if they saw Jay and Silent Bob reboot and they kind of go, oh yeah, I know those characters, I still think it will probably work to some extent, but probably not as much as it could. And for people like myself who really like Kevin Smith, and I get all the little references and stuff to all his other things, and when someone pops up and I go, oh, that's Scott Mosier, the producer, kind of thing, like, and that's Walt Flanagan, who was in the original film, and then he's in Comic Book Men and stuff like that. When it's if you're really into Kevin Smith's world, this is more of the same, but in a positive way, I think. And like I say, overall I liked it. There is a lot of emotion to it, like again the nostalgia factor as well. And how he plays his real life sort of heart attack into the story and that kind of thing, and how they're kind of, again, I won't go into the plot too much, but they're kind of making Clerks in the movie sort of thing, and a lot of the kind of mirroring and like kind of the similarity between a lot of the shots and stuff is quite cool. And I think that kind of combined and kind of the emotional kind of centre of the film kind of really connected with me, like I say. So yeah, I like it. And like I was saying, if you're a big Kevin Smith fan like me and you like what he does, I think this will be up your street. If you're not, probably not for you, but who knows, it might be. But anyway, yeah, I liked it. I thought it was cool. That is my review of Clerks 3, the third one. Thank you very much.